Greetings, everyone, and happy holidays. I hope you're excited to paint actually, the Northern Lights or Aurora Borealis. As people are joining us, please say hello in the chat box if you have access to that. Thank you, Jackie from Aloha, Oregon. And I am actually today in Ashland, Oregon. So it's great to see you guys. Sorry, this is the screen there, the webcam that is filming down below. So it's going to be in my face. So no worries. So thanks so much for joining me today. And even if you don't have watercolors available, it would still be fun to watch. And at the end, don't forget, I will give you a link to the NASA.gov website that tells you all about the Northern Lights and the Aurora Borealis, okay? Because I'm not as much of a physical scientist as I am a biological scientist, so I'm not sure if I can do it justice. But I'd love to know if you've seen the Northern Lights. Many places in North America have been lucky to see them lately. We missed them the last time they were in North America last month because it was cloudy all over Oregon. But I did see them a couple years ago for the first time ever. It was so amazing. So it's going to be hard to do them justice, but we'll try. Anyway, I've been out hiking this morning. I found some beautiful berries that remind me of Christmas that I'll be making a little bouquet out of. And I found some cool bells. I might wear those as earrings. What do you think about that? These would be fun earrings, I think. And I went to the co-op and I've been getting some fun seasonal winter fruits like pomegranates. Who likes pomegranates? I think these would be fun to sketch and paint as well. And then persimmons. Who has ever cooked with persimmons? Tell me in the chat box if you have a good recipe. I know you can make persimmon pudding, but I haven't tried that in decades. And I'm don't remember if it turned out before. And I'm still eating my cookies I made a few days ago. And I had a bunch of biscotti today with my hot chocolate. Yeah, Jackie says they'd be heavy earrings. They're not actually too heavy, but I would have to have a way to attach them. Anyway, I've got some aromatics here, just making it seem like the seasonal scent with the star anise and cinnamon and my dried oranges, which you may remember I used in my naturalists inspired gift wrapping workshop, which you can find on my YouTube channel. So let me move all this stuff. And I found these festive lights as well, battery powered lights. So these are fun. I'm going to put them out on the front porch, I think, during the holidays. And I also found a beautiful Christmas cactus. Now, one of these days in the future, as part of our 12 days of Draw Paintmas, we're going to do these beautiful cactus. And hopefully these will be in bloom by then. But if they're not, I have a good photo reference. And speaking of photo references, members of my Nature Notebook Club get a 10-page handout of all of the images from these 12 days of Draw Paintmas, one of the many bonuses of becoming a member. And I can mention that a little bit about that later. So hello, let's see, Jolynn, we had the Northern Lights, a couple nights in November in Northern Illinois. Yes, that's when it was too cloudy here. But right now I'm in southern Oregon, so a different studio than you recognize me at. That's why it looks different behind. I'm house sitting for 2 weeks for my very good friends. And so I am exploring Ashland, which I'm really excited to explore. And the weather's pretty nice today. Okay, well, anyway, so we want to talk about the Northern Lights. And, we're just going to have fun today. I've got a few photo references that we can look at. And we'll start with some easier ones and then maybe progress to some other ones. So, I'm really not teaching today. I'm just trying to lead us in a community fun event. And so I did want to remind you that yesterday's workshop was on holly. Tell me in the chat box if you did that holly painting. We did the leaves and the berries. And then the day before that, we did the snowy owls, which live in the same habitat as where the aurora borealis is usually seen. And so we're doing sort of a similar sky, but it's going to be the aurora borealis and not snow or clouds or the moon. Anyway, so that was really fun. I hope you enjoyed that. Today is day 5 of our Draw Paintmas series, my take on the sketching and painting things that relate to the holidays and Christmas and just winter scenes. So we'll be doing some other things. Tomorrow are snowflakes, and I'm going to be doing those in white charcoal on black paper. I thought that would be fun, but of course you can use whatever you want. And then let's see, where else? Okay, and so, whenever I'm going to attack a new subject like the Northern Lights, I really haven't tried this very often. I just want to start with, playing with my palette of colors. And so looking at the colors you see in the Northern Lights, and they're going to be really variable. They might be more of a, here's some of my colors I found. So, the dark sky, I found a Payne's gray and a violet and purple mix that I thought looked good. Sometimes there's going to be a cool green, like this Windsor green, or a cool blue. So all the colors are going to be fairly cool on the cool version. Some Northern Lights have some magenta in them as well. And so let's see, which one is that? I think, yeah, that's it. So there's this beautiful magenta. And then we're also going to show a little bit of the mountains in one of them with some conifers, because these grow, or the Northern Lights are found where the great conifer forests of Canada and Alaska and Sweden and Finland and the Siberian Russia area, that's where they generally have them. So anyway, yeah, I will just, generally try to figure out what colors I'm going to use in my palette and mix a few of them up and then go on. Let's see, they're doing construction across the street, so it's a little bit loud. And also in terms of paper, so, just like with the owl, I was experimenting with different kinds of paper. And so these experiments that I did here were in a really soft, hot press watercolor paper. I mean, smooth, not soft. So there's no ripples in it or hills and valleys. Whereas I think I'll try next this watercolor paper, this cold press. And that's going to mean it has more ripples and valleys, and kind of see what that looks like. So this is all an experiment, and that's what I love about being creative. There's no right or wrong way. It's not like drawing an owl, which is a very particular look, right? The Northern Lights can be really variable. And the more photos you look at, the better you can understand the variability. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this off. So this was, again, the hot press Bristol board, or was it? No, this was a hot press watercolor paper. And I wasn't quite sure if I liked the look. So I'm going to take this off. Now, we're going to try this, which is what most people generally have. It's a little bit harder to find hot press, but most stores have cold press paper. And when you look at your watercolor paper, it also has two sides to it. You have to look really closely. There's generally a smoother side and then a slightly bumpier side. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to tape it down because this is a real wet and wet technique. So unless you have super heavy paper. And this is something fun to do. I'm going to pretend that I'm going to do greeting cards. And so what you can do, and of course, you're probably not following exactly along with me, but you could do it later, is if I was going to do a greeting card, let's say a greeting card like this. I'm just eyeballing it. So these would fold in half, but you have to remember that the painting part would be in the lower half, because when you fold it, then that's going to be the front. So I'm just going to eyeball this. Okay. And then I'm going to make this larger, because you don't have to keep looking at me. There we go. And I'm going to take this sweater off because I don't want it to get wet. All righty. So, and there. That's good. Okay. And I think I'll move it over a bit more so you can see these. And I'm going to share a photo. Let's see. Where is that photo? This is always hard to see. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is the photo I'm going to work on because it's super easy, or easier. It doesn't have as many colors in the Aurora. This one is just this sort of, I'm going to use some lemon yellow and some Windsor green, and then maybe some purplish for the sky. And then the trees, we'll do some trees in a darkish black. And then if we have time, we'll try another one too. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to leave that big for now because, again, I'm not really like teaching you how to do this. We're just going to play and do this together. There's not as much of an anatomy to do, which I'm more of an expert on, like the owl anatomy or the reindeer. We are going to do reindeer on Christmas Eve when the reindeer are flying, okay? And that should be fun. Okay, so then, yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna just wet the bottom of this one, because if I'm gonna make this a Christmas card, this is really crooked, but this is just a demo. I'm going to make this a Christmas card. This is going to be the front, and this part will fold over to be the back, right? So anyway, I'm going to wet this. And again, everything's really individual depending on what kind of paper you have, what kind of paints. But I'm just going to wet this and kind of let that soak in a bit. That's definitely going to look different than if I did a dry brush. But we do want to, let's see, can you see the paints? What am I saying? Oh yeah, so this is going to be wet and wet because these are really soft areas. Now you'll see that there's the brightest contrast on the lower right with the hill and the black trees. And I really like that, how you have the brightest contrast there, and then the upper left is the darkest. Oh, and there's even some stars. We could add some stars. My favorite stars to make are using this Dr. P.H. Martin's bleed proof white that we used for the owl. And that's how this looked. That's super fun. So we could add some stars. So let's see, what am I going to do? So I always want to start with the lightest color and just get those in here. And yeah, I'm doing a little smaller today than the owl because that just took too much time and I don't really have big enough brushes with me right now. So let's see, can you see this? Again, it's not like I'm really teaching you today. I'm just showing you what I'm playing with. So I'm gonna get my yellow in here just to make sure. And we'll put in the bottom mountain and trees at the end. So I'm just going to get that in there sort of like this. And then, and again, really soft edges and lift maybe a little bit of that yellow. I want it really light. Of course, light and dark is all relative, right? I think I'm going to add some of this. Let me see what this looks like. Okay, so this is my cobalt teal. So when I add that to the yellow, that kind of makes, I like that. Okay, and yeah, working, gonna have some yellow down here, working real fast. And then I'm gonna add my purple. Let's see. I think I'm gonna get blue first and then layer in some purple. Yeah, because it's kind of fun to have the very darkest at the upper left and the very lightest and darkest trees at the lower right. So that's what I'm doing there. And you really want pretty thick paint, especially if you don't want it to wrinkle too much. Yeah, I like that. That'll really show the and yeah, I think I'll add some of this blue here. Oh, that's fun. So these photographs are just something to inspire you. You don't have to feel like you're a slave to doing it exactly, right? And then let's see. So and watercolors always dry lighter. Then you put them down. With the Northern Lights, you have some really strong contrasts, right? And maybe let me see. I can never figure out which button. Sorry, there's too many buttons. Just too many buttons. I don't know how to get. Okay, well, maybe like that. What do you think of that? So anyway, you're not supposed to be having to follow me exactly anyway, but let's see, maybe some Windsor green kind of over here. So yeah, we want cool versions of our colors, cool yellows, cool greens, cool blues, because you do have warm and cools of these, right? How are we doing? Tell me in the chat box if you can access the chat box, if anybody's following along. Now I'm going to do this dark down here, and I don't want it to bleed into here too much. So I'm going to do it really concentrated so there's not much water in here. And I'm going to just do kind of my, what is this? This is just my hill kind of. And then we want to have those trees really sharp and dry. So we'll wait on those a bit. Now, if you're at home, I really do love to use a blow dryer, a hair dryer, to speed things up a bit. But anyway, I'm going to let that dry for now. And so you can tell me if you, in the chat box, if you're following along or just watching. I did want to make this kind of doing a dry brush, because with the landscapes, the top is the closest to you and the bottom of the sky is the farthest from you. So that would generally be a little paler. Now, inside my Nature Notebook Club, I do have a training on doing perspective. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry a bit, and I am going to switch this around. Let that dry. Now you can also take a, go like that too. But let that dry a bit. And I'm going to switch to another. Let me see. I want to get another image. Different image. Let's see. Let's do. Hello, Alice from New Mexico. Oh, let's see. Didn't want to open it. I'm trying to get a different version here that we can look at. And well, I don't know. I don't know. So Jolynn says you're trying to paint along. I'm trying watercolor pencils. Oh, that's fun. Good. Well, I'm trying to add share screen. No, that's not the one I want to do. I'm trying to add another image file. I actually had a PowerPoint presentation, but it won't let me. Well, rats. There's an issue with my file. Try again in a little while. Okay. So I guess I'll have to just go back to this one. And I just really want my trees really crisp. So I don't want it very wet. So I'm going to use really dry brush. Now, you could actually, here's another thing you could do. You could use a pen. So, you got to be ready for happy accidents. Let's see. How's this pen look? Okay. So I don't know if I can get back to that, but let's just have some fun with adding some trees. So yeah, so I could add trees with just this permanent pen here. And, they're these conifer trees and they're just pointed and kind of, and some of them were pretty big. There was one that was kind of big, wasn't there? And so that's the one that was really nicely contrasted, which I really liked that idea of it really contrasting. So your eye is brought right here, because it's nice to have areas in a drawing or a painting that are kind of more subtle, and then areas that bring your eye. And generally the eye starts here and goes across. And so it can kind of end at this brightest contrast. Pretty dry. Let me see if I can actually use my colors. I think I'm going to try to go back there because it's a little bit more fun. Because I don't always like to use black. Black is kind of overkill. And Yeah, that's nice contrast. And these conifers are pretty conical. See, isn't that prettier, that dark purple, than that just pure black? But yeah, it is bleeding a bit. And some trees might be farther away. And I might use a different brush that has a finer tip to it. This tinier brush. But they're just all tall and conical. Now, one day, part of our 12 days of Draw Paintnimus, we'll do some trees, kind of like Christmas trees in watercolor. And let's see. Tell me if you can in the chat box if you have a tree up and if you know what species it is, because there are quite a few species that are used for Christmas trees. Various species of pines and firs and spruces and Doug firs, which is in a different genus than fir. So that's why it's called Doug fir. We have a lot of those here. Let's see. Oh, isn't this fun? So once you get that nice contrast of those trees in there, and I might use different kind of blackish colors. Like I have a perylene green, I have a dark purple, and that'll just make them a little bit subtly different. And, you know, you don't want to make them look like a plantation. So some should be smaller and more subtle. There are, yeah, okay. How are we doing here? How are we doing? I like this. This is kind of fun. I think I gotta make this a bit more like a conifer and not a hardwood. What's fun about where I'm staying for the next 2 weeks is I'm in a totally different habitat than I was where I generally live, where we have a lot of pine trees, and we're at the edge of the high desert that has junipers and sage. And if you followed me on Instagram, I posted lots of pictures before. But anyway, right now I'm in a totally different habitat. I'm so excited to be in the oak woodlands. And so we have totally different trees and lots of different birds as well that we don't have in Central Oregon. So like today I saw one of my favorite groups of birds, the woodpeckers, and there was an acorn woodpecker, and they specialize in living in oak woodlands, which we don't have in Bend in Central Oregon. I like that. Yeah. So you want to make them look a little bit different. And I could make some look a bit farther away by being a little bit different color. I don't know if it matters, but you could tell. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, we were going to add some stars. Not some snow, but some stars. I don't know if you can really tell the difference once we sprinkle it all on. But how can I do that? So I'm going to mask this area. And I only want my stars. My stars are mainly only going to show where it's darker, right? So I'm going to protect this and the trees. And I'm going to take some of my Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. I think it's probably pretty good that we're just continuing to work on this one. And I'm going to use this fan brush and dip it in here, because when I tap on the fan brush, it makes better stars than just a round brush like this one. Okay, so I'm just going to tap it against my finger. And I want these pretty small because they're stars. This isn't close snowflakes like in the owl. And the most stars are going to be in the area where there isn't the aurora. And that'll give us some visual interest too, in having the stars just over here, where otherwise it would be just kind of boring. And if I hold it close compared to far away, the dots will be different sizes. Okay. Oops. Don't. Oh, no. Now my stars are a meteor shower. Well, that's okay. Happy accidents. So I'm trying to go too fast, I suppose. Anyway, you just got to go with it. You just go have fun with things. Let's see. Can you guys see this now? So see, my stars became a meteor shower because I smeared them. What do you think of that? So then if I were to then take this off, the tape makes a nice edge. Oh, see, I'm totally going too fast. You guys can learn from my mistakes. So you have to be careful when you're removing this. And so I don't think I have any scissors around here, but see, I ripped that. So if I was going to make this into a card, you know, I would fold this. Well, you know how to do it. It's got to be dry. So there, I've just kind of gone with the idea of that from that photograph, but kind of made it my own and kind of tried to incorporate some ideas of art design where we have some different areas of interest, and the stars in the dark sky. And then, of course, those wouldn't show where there's the aurora. And then the brightest contrast right here on this other side of the paper. And then the nice forested trees. Yeah. Okay. So how are we doing here? I'm sorry if I just, let me try again to share one of those other image files, because I tried to get some different ones that had different colors. It's not wanting to do it. I'm so sorry. Oh, well. Oh, yeah, I want to put this link in. Copy. I don't know if you are able to see the links I'm putting in the chat box and if you're able to right click on those or not, but I put a link to the NASA website, which talks all about the biology of the aurora borealis, so that you can read up on it. And I also wanted to put the link to my membership, the Nature Notebook Club, which I've been talking about a bit lately because it is Christmas time. So christinelder.com/membership. Yeah, that's just in my face here. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. So we have this. There we go. Yeah, so I'm actually doing a kind of a fun challenge that a few people have said they're going to try to take me up on, is that my monthly membership, I'm giving a steep discount if you participate in all 12 of my 12 days of draw paintmas activities that go through the 24th, Christmas Eve, when we're doing the reindeer. So if you submit all 12 of those to me via email, then I will give you the discount link for the founding members price of the Nature Notebook Club, which is only $22 a month instead of $29. It's a great deal either way, but I just thought I would have a fun contest. Oops, it didn't want to do that either. Maybe I have a slow internet connection today. I don't know, since I'm at a new place. But anyway, christineelder.com/membership. And so, yeah, my monthly membership, there's no long-term commitment. It's just month to month. And if you have to quit, it's really easy to cancel. In fact, I'm so confident that you'll want to stay that I filmed a 1-minute video tutorial that's right up on the onboarding videos of the program, showing you how to cancel if you have to, because so many places like Amazon Prime make it just about impossible to cancel a membership. And I would never want to do that to you. I really believe in my product. And so the membership is a community of people that post their sketches and their journal pages, as well as just their observations of the natural world. So my membership isn't really just about art. It's about nature lovers getting together and sharing their observations, whether they document that in a journal or not. And it's not really about the product. You know, I'm not trying to draw and teach you how to be a biological illustrator like I am. I actually have a degree in biological illustration, and I work professionally as an illustrator. But I want to just teach people how to appreciate the natural world in a more deeper way through a nature journaling process. And so my membership has a series of core lessons to get you started really quickly on drawing and sketching and painting and journaling. It also has monthly master classes on various topics. Recently, we've done insects and reptiles in the summertime, and we've done fishes and trees. And we also have live member meetups at the end of every month. And so there's a lot of really cool stuff in my membership. And again, if you submit all 12 drawings or paintings, you get to have the founding members price going forward. So once you sign up, your price will never increase. And I am increasing the price as I've gone through the last 6 months of this program, because there's more and more really valuable and helpful content in the program. So the sooner you join, the cheaper it's going to be. And again, it's just about 3 clicks if you have to cancel. So there's really no risk, because of course I give a 30-day money back guarantee. So, you know, you can check it out with no risk for a few weeks and see if you like it. And if you don't, you can just email me and I'll give you your money back. But no one's asked to do that yet because again, I love teaching. I create really high quality programs. I've been teaching online since before the pandemic, and I've taught over probably almost 300 of these types of live online classes before. So I'm really dedicated. I'm going to be here as long as I've been here in the past, and teaching you how to sketch and paint everything from tardigrades to blue whales and nature journaling as well. So anyway, most of you who are watching are in my email list, and you've gotten links to check out my Nature Notebook Club. or there's links generally in Facebook or Instagram and YouTube to check out the club. And so, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. We've almost been going an hour, and I hope you had fun and continue to keep painting. If you check out that website on NASA, the National Atmospheric and Space Administration, is that what they call it? Anyway, nasa.gov has a wonderful page on the biology of the aurora borealis, and you can see some other pictures because they really vary. Again, they can be these cool yellows and greens. They can be blue. They can be more of the magenta colors. And so it's really fun to just play with them, and you really can't go wrong. So it's very unintimidating and very relaxing for the holidays. And so anyway, so tomorrow we're doing snowflakes, and I'm going to be using white charcoal pencil on black paper. So if you happen to have those two things and want to follow along, and I'll be teaching you some fun facts about the structure of snow crystals and how they vary. Let's see. Alice says, watching carefully, I wish to make a card to send to my brother-in-law this year. Great. Yeah. So, you'll just, again, make sure that you put it on the lower part because you're going to fold this over, and the inside will be the inside of the card, and this part will be the back. So make sure you just put it in the lower part, and then, yeah, you'll got to wait till it's dry to cut it and fold it, and then right inside. Now, depending on the type of paper, well, yeah, it shouldn't be wrinkly because, especially in this case, I used the rough side of the watercolor to paint on. So the other side is smoother, and that way, you'll be able to write something. I think I will make mine a card too, so I'm not going to demonstrate it, but this is nice and flat and will take a pen very easily. But if you switched it around and painted on the smooth side, then the rough side wouldn't wouldn't accept pen as smoothly. So just really think about that when you're choosing your papers. And again, if you use this, if you use hot press watercolor paper, that's really smooth on both sides. If you use this cold press watercolor paper, it's bumpier on one side and smoother on the other. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed joining me today. I'm going to go out for a hike at Lithia Park in Ashland. And I will see you tomorrow. And if you're enjoying these, please click the like button or the share button. Share this series of free, fun holiday events, especially if you know anybody that might be a little lonely and needing some creative outlet and wanting to be in community here. Then please do share them. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and click the notify me button so that you'll be notified when I go live again. And again, if you want to check out my previous workshops in this Draw Paintmas series, you can check out the owl and the holly and the poinsettia and the 2 turtle doves that I've done for the last 5 days. Okay. Well, Jackie said you did enjoy this. We're also heading for a hike on Cooper Mountain. Great. Okay, I'll have to check that hike out. Okay, well, take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.